Good afternoon. My name is Edwin Verheul. I work with SURF, and SURF is the NREN in the Netherlands. So I feel really welcome here. This is my first visit in Africa. Thank you, Nicholas, for having me. I'm really honored to present here at your stage. So let's wait in the meanwhile while the slides come up. And might take a while. Let's get the remote first. So I'm going to talk about our experience that we have with CNAS. We do wireless and wired deployments. So the most experience we have is with wireless deployments. So that's what I'm going to tell you about. So I've experience in both the client side and the NREN side, because my previous employee was an academic hospital in the Netherlands, and we had also a big wireless environment, and we were also considering wireless from SURF. And I worked there as a network engineer, mostly a Cisco network. And currently I'm employed at, as I told, at SURF, and I'm a network engineer there, maintaining the ISP network throughout the Netherlands, and we also have an international network called Netherlight, and we're connected to Xeant, also Ubuntu.net, and we have a big network. And next to that, we are collaborating with CNAS together with SUNET. We use the same software. We build the software together. For example, we have now a possibility that you can log in through OIDC. That was a big achievement. So, for example, with EduGain, with that account, you're able to log in to the management system, and that's something we work together with. So, I'm curious about your wireless deployments. Who has more than over 1,000 access points deployed in a network? Raise your hands. 500? 100 access points, anyone? Nobody? And who has wireless access points in the network? Okay. Maybe we are suggesting our tea break, maybe, but okay, that's really good. Well, the experience we had at the academic hospital I worked before, we had over 2,200 access points across 5 buildings on the campus, mostly Cisco access points. We were busy migrating to the newer series, the 9102. We did our first line support and second line support ourselves. And we had a company that's called the Cisco Integrator. They did the support with the network vendor. And all changes we had to do on the wireless controllers, it had to go through the integrator. We couldn't do it ourselves. And also the regular firmware upgrades was also going through the integrator. It was always a costly project. Upgrading 2,200 access points. We had like telemetry for the heart on a special department. This is mission critical. If you lose the telemetry of your heart, a nurse has to be always with the patient to check the patient if it's healthy. So it was a big responsibility. So our wireless network was mission critical for healthcare. Yeah, and about this reseller, because in the Netherlands, many big wireless deployments go through a partner, a reseller, and you acquire support from this company. And mostly it's commercial. There's most deployments, experiences from other NREN members. It's withheld because it's confidential. We don't tell about each other's wireless deployments, so there's no contact between network engineers. So when I worked at the hospital, I've really felt like alone, because when you had a problem, you only can talk to the integrator, and they couldn't share experience with other companies, with their clients. So that was, yeah, sometimes a problem. And they also do not support EduRoam, and we need to have EduRoam. Most universities in the Netherlands, it's obliged to have EduRoam. It's mandatory to be a member of the NREN. But it's not supported, so you have to build it yourself, maintain your own radius server. And if you have a problem with EduRoam, it's not in the support contract of the wireless network. So this is also a problem we had with our wireless deployment. And also to be compliant of licensing, like every access point needs a license. To be compliant, it's a nightmare. You could do a bachelor degree on licensing of different network vendors. It's really hard. So to summarize, there are many struggles, but also most members of our NREN have problems with the available pool of IT knowledge. It's really hard to get an IT network engineer employed. There's not much budget, especially in education. It's not really attractive to work at an educational institute. And so many network engineers tend to work at an IT consultancy, higher salary, so they attract all the expertise. So it's really hard. You have to hire from consultancies, recruiters, to have somebody temporary. And we have also hyperscalers, because we have a nice flat country. There are no earthquakes, little floods, not so many floods. And we have real great connectivity, so all the hyperscalers come in the Netherlands. And they also attract a lot of engineers, so it's harder to acquire a network engineer for an NREN member. And also a big problem that we have is to tender, because we work with public money, so you're obliged to do a tender to acquire a vendor. And so most Wi-Fi services are mostly outsourced in the Netherlands. So the knowledge of the infrastructure of for example, a hospital or a school is always limited, because it's outsourced, so we don't know about blinking access points on the ceiling. It's different. So there's a dilemma in most educational institutes. The outsourced services make a job less challenging for an engineer, because you don't have to worry about it. But if you do it yourself, it takes too much time, and the engineer is overworked and has too many other things to worry about. So this is where Serve Wireless come in. There's a fun fact about the availability. We guarantee it, but it's something we collaborate with. It's not that we do it and that the customer can sit back and relax and do nothing. No, this is something we do together. I have a fun story about that. I have lots of friends in the Netherlands. We are all network engineers. And when we go to a restaurant, we always have a game to guess the network vendor of an access point and find the access points in a restaurant. And I was looking at those here in the ceiling, and I didn't recognize them. So I started up my Wi-Fi scanner, find the MAC address, and it's H3C. Never heard about it. And it's fun because this one in the front is blinking orange. Even yesterday I noticed it. And in the back is blue, and that's like, it gives a better feeling. Maybe that one in the back is working and this one in the front is broken. So always when we find broken access points in public places like libraries or restaurants, we go to the waiter and say, hey, your access point is blinking. Can you fix that? And those people are like, what are you telling? I don't know nothing about wireless. And this is something fun in a restaurant because it's not the core business, it's okay. But in education, a network infrastructure is the cornerstone of your core business. More and more is getting digital. So if you don't have anybody employed in your staff that knows about the location of access points or some basic things, it's a problem. So this guarantee, we have to do it together. If we cannot get this 99.9%, we have failed together, because the NREN is responsible in this service to educate the staff of the educational institution to have the minimal required expertise to help each other out. It's a collaboration. It's not a service that you can sit back and do nothing. So if you have existing network engineers, there's still work to do. It's not that you can fire your engineers and because you have outsourced it, we still need your help in the wireless. And also with CNAS, it's the same story. So, but what we do with the upgrades, it's automatically. We can work together, plan maintenance windows when we can do upgrades. And also we have the latest Wi-Fi technologies, for example, Wi-Fi 6. EduRoam and IoT Roam is supported. So it's EduRoam as a service. We help you out setting up EduRoam, and if there's a problem with it, we can help together. And you can choose if you want the 24/7 NOC support or if you want to do everything yourself. This is a responsibility we work out together. Now, same with the licensing, it's included. It gives you end user insight, so it's always a problem with wireless. When somebody has a problem, the person calls, the network engineer comes to this person or somebody from the first line help desk, and the problem is gone. It's always things that happened in the past. And that's really hard with wireless. You can't grab it, you can't see it. So it's really comes in handy when you have a logging system, monitoring like Aruba Central. So about our service in the Netherlands, our first deployment was in September 2016. And at the moment we have 85 locations at 11 different members of ours. I think you heard a lot about EduRoam. Apologies for the Dutch slide and the very tiny text. But we also have IoT Roam. Like EduRoam, you need a user account, a student account, and a password to log in. But what if you have like a vending machine for drinks or a beamer? You don't give a beamer a student account or maybe an audio device. But you can register the MAC address, and for this MAC address, it's mapped to its password only used for this device. So you can connect any IoT device and use the EduRoam Federation system. So you can securely connect all your IoT devices to your wireless network without creating service accounts that expire. You have to extract the device from the ceiling and change the password. No, here comes IoT Roam in and help you out with this. If you have any questions about that, we can take this offline, because it's I can talk an hour about IoT Roam. So maybe these slides come in familiar, because we work a lot together with Sunet. So when we deploy wireless, we first talk about the support. The first line support, the end user support, is always a responsibility for the institution itself. So the end user support and simple management tools like where is an access point located, what clients are connected to it. This is all information we provide to the first line help desk. And it's a responsibility for the university itself. We cannot do first line support from out the NREN. So the second line is something from the NREN. We can help you out with that. If you have a problem the help desk cannot solve, we help you solving it. And same with the engineering behind it is something we do together ourselves. If we have a change, we just talk about it and see what your engineer can do and what we can do. And we have contact with the supplier. There's a fun story about this. We also, we support the wireless network, and we have regularly contact with the network engineers themselves, and we know a little bit of the topology. For example, what firewall you are using. With the commercial company, if you don't take the firewall service, they're not interested. They don't even want to know what you have. But we are just interested about the basic topology. And there was this problem at an Android version 10, they introduced that you could set an emoji in your host name. And this caused crashing, to crash your firewall. In this case, it was a Palo Alto firewall. It crashed because somebody has set an emoji in their host name of the Android phone. So they called us like, our wireless is broken, it doesn't work anymore, and we don't know what to do. And at the same time, another university called, our wireless is broken, and we don't know what to do. All the access points are online. It's strange. And we start thinking like, oh, everything works, all the access points are online. And the other university also had the same problem. And we're like, it's a coincidence, you have the same vendor of firewall. Have you looked into that? And they were like, oh, we cannot reach it, it's broken. And we work together. We don't have any contract with the firewall vendor, but two big universities had a lot of downtime. So we were able to contact the supplier of this firewall, send out all the logs, and they really quickly find out that this feature that was introduced in Android caused the firewall to crash. And that's just an example that we work together, and we don't think in money like, oh, you don't take the firewall service from us, we don't help you. No, we always help you finding out these problems. And this is, if you are opting in to share something about your network topology, we can find out things like this. So this is an ice cream. Surf Wireless comes in 3 tastes. If you just want to start with the wireless, have a smooth transition, you can go for Surf Wireless Start. That means that we just take one building in your campus. You can try it out. If you like it, we can go on with the project. And after that, you can choose between the fully managed service. So we take care of everything except the first line, we have a full supported wireless. But if you prefer, like, oh, I have expertise in-house, I have network engineers that know a lot about wireless, we just want to buy the access points, we help you out with the measurements, to do a site survey, what is the best place to put an access point on the ceiling. And after that, you can enjoy your wireless and do all the engineering yourself. So you can choose. And it's not only those 2 options, maybe you like a specific thing that we do to support, for example, specialized hardware that they call us if there are problems with those. So it's something we collaborate with. So also tiny letters. Those are all the points in the table that we do if you choose for the managed or the unmanaged service. We also work with a service level agreement. If it's managed, you get a service level agreement. If it's unmanaged, you have to take care of it for yourself. And we also have support. It differs in what taste you choose. So, if you're convinced, if you are a Dutch institute and you're convinced, how does it work? Where do we start? So we first work out a high-level design, like how many buildings do you have, how many floors, what do you expect from the network? Do you want IoT roam or just edu roam, or do you have patients with telemetry hardware that needs to be connected as well? So when we all got this information, we start working on the low-level design, and then we specifically measure the network, do site surveys, find out the best locations and how many access points you would need. And then we can generate a quote, and you can choose whether you want rental equipment or a lease or just buy the access points yourself. It's all possible. And after that, we can choose a maintenance window to replace the hardware. And you can start enjoying excellent Wi-Fi in the Netherlands. So next to that, we also have some fun things, innovations that comes with the service. For example, as I've been told yesterday, the growth of the campus doesn't come with the growth of the new amount of students that come in at the university. And in the Netherlands, it's really hard to find a place in a university to study because it's all crowded at most buildings. So we have invented a crowd indicator. You can open an app and you say, for example, it's really small, I want a quiet place to study, or I want a crowded space to study with some background noise. And it looks in the Wi-Fi data where it is crowded or where it's not crowded, whatever you want. And then it gives you a room where it's, that meets your preference. So this is something that is extracted from Wi-Fi data. It's privacy friendly. It just looks at the amount of clients connected to an access point in a specific room. And it gives you back the results. So students can find a place to study in the university. So about it's really good that we have these services, but there's also a little warning about it, because in the Netherlands, at many NREN members, we experience that it's harder and harder to acquire technical knowledge for wireless. So if you take this service, or if you want to provide this service as an NREN, you should really define the minimum required knowledge to achieve this availability together. So if you have defined this, like everybody should know where the map is, which access point is located where, that there's a DHCP server involved, the DNS has to be working. If this knowledge is acquired, then you can work together for a better wireless solution for all your students in the education, for all the NREN members. So this is really important, that it's not a service and that you don't need engineers anymore. You still need them, and it's something we achieve together and share the knowledge with each other. So I've been told that we take the questions after the next presentations. So write down your questions and I'll answer them after the next presentation. Thank you very much.